Hello everyone, this is your number one tech Mark here again to give you another video tutorial. This video tutorial follows the previous one, which was how to add a new job. And now we're at the edit invoice for new job. We're going to start in the upper left hand corner where we have line items. Below there are the line items themselves, and each line item has a name, then a description, then a quantity, a rate, and an amount. The name of the line item is just that. It's not going to print anywhere. It's just for your internal purposes so that you can tell what this line item actually is. The description, that is what will print onto your invoice. So the description is what your client is actually going to see. Then you have your quantity times your rate will equal your amount. If you have a quantity of 0, that line item will not print on your invoice. So any line item here of 0 will not print, only the quantities of 1 or more will. And then if you need to change at any point the description, the quantity, or the rate, you can just click on there and then just start typing to change what it says. Same with the quantity if you wanted to add in a quantity or the rate. Moving on, we have in the middle left, add sales item, add credit, and delete line. If you want to add a sales item, you would click on that. It would bring up the select items to add. This is a lookup window of any sales item you would have ever entered into your program. So you're just searching for them, and if you find the one you want, then you would click on it and hit accept. You're also able to add new sales items from that list. If you want to add a credit for any reason, you can click on add credit. You will find the credits in this window, and you can accept on those or add a new one. And then you can also delete a line if you wanted to remove a line from this invoice. And the same concept though, if you do have a quantity of 0, it's not going to print anyway. We will touch on server pay in the server pay video tutorial. Moving down from there, you have payments. This is a section that you can enter in prepayments if your client has already paid for this job. You would enter in a description of it, the method of payment, and of course the date, the check number, and then the amount paid. Below there, you can add a payment if you needed to split it up into 2 different payments, or if you accidentally added one, you can delete the payment. If you don't do anything to this section, then it's just going to fall off when you hit accept. So if the client did not prepay, you do not have to worry about this section at all. And now we're looking at the totals block in the bottom right. This is probably the most important part about this window, and in the very last line, amount due, that is going to be the amount that you're actually billing your client for. So if that is what you want, you would click accept. If it's not, then you would make your changes above, and then you would hit accept. I'm going to go ahead and click accept to move on. And now we're looking at the job options window. We're going to start in the upper left-hand corner under affidavit options. We have type of affidavit, and below there, standard PST paper. That's actually a drop-down menu. Go ahead and drop that down, and you'll see the different types of affidavits that have already been preloaded into PST. An example of what this list is going to do for you is this U.S. District Court. If you were to choose U.S. District Court type of affidavit, then PST is going to format your affidavit in the way that is required by the U.S. District. If you're not sure which one you want to choose at the time, then you'll probably just stick with the standard PST paper. That's kind of the default affidavit. Below there, you have 3 options: normal affidavit, send away personal, and send away business. The normal affidavit provides you with a filled-in affidavit with the comments, attempts, type of service information already filled in. The send away affidavits provide you with more of a fill-in-the-blank type if you wanted your server to actually handwrite and fill in those affidavits. Below there are other options. I'm just going to touch on the most frequently used few, and if there's one I don't cover that you're interested in, you can just give us a call at 407-679-1539. This very first one, omit notary block. If you check that box, it's going to remove the notary block from your affidavit, and it's going to change your header from affidavit of service to return of service. A couple down from there, you have recipient description. If you check that box, it is going to allow you to print the description of the person you actually handed your papers to onto the affidavit. And that's like height, weight, hair color, those type of things. And a couple down from there, you have client company on affidavit. If you check that box, that will allow you to print the client's company on your affidavit instead of yours. And a good example of why you would want that is if you're serving papers for a different process serving agency and you wanted their company on the affidavit instead of yours, you would check that box, client company on affidavit. And those are the most frequently used few. If there's anything I didn't cover, like I said, just give us a call. Below there, you have internal flags. This is not a section you're ever going to have to click into or do anything with. This is just for your own internal purposes. PST fills these in when it's appropriate. When the affidavit is printed, PST will check that box. When the invoice is printed, PST will check that box. It's just for your internal purposes, so we can move on into the upper right-hand corner where we have priority. And whatever you choose here are going to be field sheet options. You have on hold per client, down to money is no object. Whatever you choose in that section is going to print on your field sheet in the top left corner. That way, if you have a bunch of field sheets in front of you, you can quickly glance through them, see the one that might be a rush service, and then stick that one on top to then go take care of that one right away. Below there, you have 4 date fields. These are completely optional. You can use any combination of them or none at all. You have action date. That would be a date that you want action to be taken on the job. So let's say that you want action to be taken every 7 days. You'd input a date 7 days from now into this action date field. You can run a report. It's called our unfinished jobs report. You can sort it by the action date, and that way, if there's a job that is kind of quickly approaching the action date that is still open in your system, you'll be able to look into it and see why it hasn't been taken care of yet. Similar to the expire date, last day to serve and subserve, you can sort the unfinished jobs report by any of those fields. The expired date would be the date the documents are set to expire, the last day to serve would be the last day you can serve, and the last day to subserve is the last day you're allowed to do that as well. Below there, we have address suppression. This is just used for California papers. If you're serving a California job and you're not sure what to do here, just give us a call and we will help you out. Now below there, you have your printing PDF options. This is what you're going to tell PST what you want to do with these documents. In the top group of 3 is for your affidavit. The bottom group of 3 are for your invoice, but they're the same options for each. You have print hard copy, affidavit, and invoice. That tells PST that you eventually want to print those documents. You have create, affidavit, and invoice PDF to disk. That will allow you to create a PDF of whichever document, and it saves it directly to your computer's hard drive. And then from there, you can email it, print it, pretty much do whatever you need. And then the last choice is attach affidavit and invoice PDF to job. That allows you to attach a PDF of whichever document directly to the job itself within PST. And then if you ever needed to reference it or look at it, you could always just open up the job, click on attachments, and you'll see whichever document is attached. When you're finished making your selection on the job options window, you just go ahead and hit accept. And that concludes this tutorial.